about 20 years old.
Yep.
It's like, sorted. We're now problem solved. Right, we're going to talk about our next topic, and even though you don't really know anything about Listhaug, I'm going to give you
Listhaug.
Yeah, because Listhaug is from FRP, and she's known as the far right in Norway. Except her opinions, I sometimes criticise her opinions a little bit too much because I'm a moderate. But then again, you know, sometimes I find myself agreeing with her occasionally.
Yeah, I mean, how far right can Norwegian far right be, actually, you know, to be honest?
I mean, I don't think that they're so far right that they're going to fall off the cliff. Which, you know, scares me to go left at the moment.
Oh yes. There is the horizon is dropping so very shortly. Yes.
I feel as though the police are doing their utmost to keep law and order here, and they're doing a fantastic job. I'm gonna have to give them a round of applause.
That's very good to hear after seeing what's happening, you know, in the English-speaking countries, especially.
Absolutely, they stand up for our rights. They always want us to be able to have freedom of expression. They're not going to close or stop conversation. They want us to be able to express ourselves. But I think my main concern about this story is that there's more to the issue than meets the eye. I'll put it in English so that you can also get the benefit of the conversation and the gist of the thing, because personally I feel as though half of me wants to help these people and half of me doesn't. So I'm sort of a moderate where I'm thinking, am I letting my emotions run astray, or are these people just not being told the full story? Is it that? Because sort of I'm arguing to myself about the subject. So if we just fire away with the topic, Listhaug warns against staying due to the Moira fire. It says Sylvie Listhaug believes that Norway should not accept a single refugee from Moira camp in Greece. And it says Médecins Sans Frontières answers that the situation is acute and that the refugees should be evacuated immediately. This is all her commentary, and first of all, I'm going to use the question that she says: Will burning down the camp where you live be an entrance ticket to get to European countries?
Yep. Yeah. You know, right? So. First of all, the response that these people should be evacuated, I can get behind that. It's just not anyone's problem other than Greece and wherever those people are from. So let me start with that. And I have to agree with Listhaug on her opinion that it might be perhaps possible that it will send a message, and the question, will that actually cause people to shoot themselves in the foot so they can get insurance, so to speak, is not going to happen now that you know, potentially the Moria camp is going to get even more resources thrown at it.
I mean, I agree that they need more and more people, but apparently the government said that it will receive 50 people from Moira.
Okay.
I feel as though not enough is done for the people that actually live in Lesbos.
Oh, yes.
The situation in Lesbos is probably at its critical point. The angle that I'm coming from is, it's all fine, fair enough. We can say, oh, the virus or the bug has come, But for people who are living on an island and they were dependent on tourism, which isn't coming in because every country that used to pay to go and visit them is no longer able to visit them because, they've got the lockdown. They can't fly there, they can't go on holiday, there's been a ban. So they've got no actual income. So I can understand that they would probably be annoyed at that factor. Party is now phased out. We can't have any more.
Yeah, I mean, in order to determine what should be done about those poor people in that camp, I think it really is important to establish what factors contributed to them being in that situation, and those factors would be Turkey and the EU.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. I just flicked over to the wrong screen there. And again, I've done it again. I'm gonna have to agree with you on that subject because when I was reading more onto the development of, the situation, I call COVID the virus.
Yes.
Obviously, YouTube and its funniness. The story doesn't get out to anybody, and it's a problem. Stop share. So it becomes a bit of a problem. And
from what I remember since the beginning of the year, Lesbos has been like the Isle Lesbos has been a humanitarian issue for a while now, and it's been always a matter of time before something horrible happened there, and a lot of people were talking about it for a while. Media reported on those voices, but not very positively and not for very long. So the issue being swiped under the rug, as it were, as it tends to happen, and now it explodes, and we're wondering what do we do now. But I'm not really sure about that myself.
I suppose you can have an ostrich effect about it and pretend that you can stick your head in the sand and forget about it. And then the world will fly by, Or you can actually realise that, like you say, there is a problem with Turkey. And if you're living in an island and you're thinking to yourself, well, where are all these people coming from? Why are they here? We can't even defend or protect ourselves. And then all of a sudden, you've got Turkey has not given up on rights in the East Mediterranean. You've got that going on, and they're thinking, we're going to get invaded.
I just would maybe remind that Turkey warned Europe that they would unleash a wave of migrants that would hit Europe specifically because it would hit Europe economically, and after they threatened that, they have done exactly that, and that is how we got the Lesbos situation.
I feel as though it's more than that. It's more to do with them being greedy and.
Oh yeah, I mean, I mean, the problem is that those people are being used as political tokens and both Turkey and I think the EU is playing them as their chips, bargaining chips.
I feel as though that's exactly the reason why I was like, Listhaug, now you're definitely not going to win, because maybe 50, we could take 50, but we can't do what the UN said and take lots. But I mean, it says in this article on Reuters that they are actually looking for offshore natural resources.
Yep.
Now, it could be the gas thing that they are in dispute with Greece and Turkey. I will show that article now, but at the same time as talking to you. But I'm a bit skeptical about both situations and whether or not we...
A coincidence?
Yeah, we here are being told the serious nature of the situation. You know, in all intents and purposes, we're only told half a story.
Yeah.
So we'll get some of the story. We'll have to do our research. We have to pluck it out of the hat.
Yeah.
And say,
yeah.
So.
From what I gathered about that activity in the Mediterranean, that Turkey literally sailed. I don't know what word it is. Yeah, so they had like military warships in there protecting their so-called scientific vessel. So like they militarily took those waters. It's kind of weird that nobody.
Really weird. Why would
nobody
you do
seems
that?
to care.
Well,
yeah.
Well,
to see how far you can go, because obviously nobody cares when they do that, so they keep doing it more and more and further into the into Europe, as it were. And I can just remind you that Russia did exactly the same with Georgia and Crimea. That they just prodded, and took inch after inch after inch that Europe just didn't care about, until it turned out that all region is theirs.
Well, the strangest thing about it, even The Guardian has mentioned it. And even though I went through MSN, I'm just showing that the Guardian does have this article, so that other people realise that this is the real deal. How a rush for Mediterranean gas threatens to push Greece and Turkey into war. So these people apparently fled war, and they've gone to Lesbos thinking, oh yeah, that's a place of safety. No, it's not. What Listhaug is saying is that she will allow the aid to, screen these people, rather than them getting all the way here and then booted out. Because the thing about Norway is that they actually don't listen to Europe and they boot people out. Is an actual fact.
Yeah, it's also the position of, broadly speaking, Poland, that if there are humanitarian problems, then we should fix the humanitarian problems where they occur and not let people affected by the problem try and assimilate them into our culture, or worse yet, enclave them in some concentration camp style or a ghetto in Germany or Poland.
I don't agree with that concentration style tactic. I feel as though that has devastating effects, because what we're looking at is people who are in unhygienic conditions, and the virus is here, and we've already gone to dystopian measures with our own people. Can you imagine if they had a dream to come to Europe, right? And this dream of what they saw, big lights and fast things happening, it's not happening.
Yeah, yeah. It is quite fair to say that those people were, either the refugees that come to specifically Greece. Let's be honest here, are well, arriving there for false premises, like by false promises of people who tell them how much Greece can be better than wherever they live, which stops being the case the more they come over.
I mean, yeah, I want things to return back to normal. Don't get me wrong. I want us to go out and enjoy ourselves and things like that. But if this is real, and there has been a real problem in the Mediterranean, then I would respect it if our leaders around and the opposition as well would at least come together and discuss things like adults, right? To stop us from having cabin fever. I say cabin fever because it's got there,
I clearly remember that day about a month and a half ago when I realized, I've gone insane.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm appreciating that Germany wants to be a mediator. It's very, very good of them to come in, do the things that they feel is necessary. But on the other hand, I feel as though, it's got to that point where, people are saying that they don't actually like to be in Europe. And I'm going to stop sharing and then I'm going to share again. Right. People are saying that they don't want to be in Europe, and you're having to say to people, well, if you don't want to be in Europe, then why don't you just try to go? And we're helping them to
I really liked Listhaug's suggestion that the focus should be to get them back home.
Yeah, because I believe that...
Yeah, there's plenty of interviews with the people in the specific camps that were Camp Moria that we're talking about, and they say that they hated there and they hate Europe in general, and they were lied to when they were coming there. So I think Listhaug is perfectly justified, and I would fully support her motion to just get those people back home, wherever that is.
I feel as though, we're justified in doing it, and we're justified in saying it, but, now they find themselves in a war-torn, well, it's not war-torn yet, but in a situation...
the first country that is in that war, and they should seek asylum in the first country surrounding theirs that is in that war, so we just offload them.
But the way that I see it is now Europe is in a crisis. So we've got the virus, and we've got a crisis. So now we need to turn around to the UN and say no, thank you, because this is now encroaching in our rights. Or no, thank you, because this is going to escalate into something stupid. We're already seeing a bunch of teenagers all gather, 200, 300 of them, to party this weekend to 2 locations in Norway, in Oslo. So I'm being specific that, if there is a problem and if this is a virus, then, what we need to do is we need to follow the orders that we're being told. And if these people are having a problem even complying and not burning their or they're retaliating, imagine how much they're going to retaliate when they're here. And that's the thing that also scares me, because we're also seeing a lot of
That is also an interesting thing to point out, that the healthcare considerations are never mentioned in relation to refugees, which is as if the virus was just for the native population to be controlled. Just saying, it looks like this. I am quite convinced that there is a virus. Yes.
I am convinced there is a virus, and so if I was...
yeah, it's just being used quite interestingly.
Yeah, if I was living on the island of Lesbos, let's just face it, not a lot of people have the common sense and say, you know, I'm going to put myself in another person's shoes. I would be panicking round about now. I'd be like, gee whiz, this virus, what if they've got the virus? And, you know, I would be thinking in those manners, because obviously when you live on a small island, you know the person, your next door neighbour, and you know it's quite...
Yeah, especially after 6 months of restrictions, I think people are quite inclined to really be cautious of infection.
Absolutely. And I'm not saying that, you know, the world is perfect and we should all have a come-by song about it. I'm saying that right round about now, the UN need to look right deep down and say, no, countries can't do this anymore because it's not going to work. You know...
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like when we... I mean, because I've been talking to a lot of people, right, and it looks to me that when we say, like, look, okay, clearly this isn't working out, it's like we're trying to say that it could never have worked, and everything was wrong, and we've been wrong all this time, and everything is shit now. We're saying, like, in this particular situation, because we had some extra situations happening before, it's just not sustainable anymore. So can we start doing something else other than letting Turkey flood Europe with people from nobody knows where?
I mean, yes, I have read the articles about Turkey, and yes, I have read other different points of views, but my heart still is in a place where if you do not help Greece, then you're going to always have problems. I've always been like,
I mean,
you know, they can't afford to do anything like you said earlier, and I feel as though it's got to that point where if we do...
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely. Like, if the UN wants to help Greece, it should provide military cover for evacuation of the isle from the refugee population to the first isle of their country, or whatever, like the first shore of their countries, or just straight back to where they were sent from, that is Turkey.
The problem with this,
and that would cause a war, of course, but
yeah,
you've got to do what you've got to do. I'm not calling for war. I'm not
just calling for it
because it's not, Turkey shouldn't have done it, and we know they've done it. They've done it for a specific hostile reason.
About everything else that gets said, because I feel as though, on one hand, we've got ISIS, and we've had to worry about ISIS. Now, these people fled ISIS. We've now taken them back, so we look like hypocrites. And these people probably don't even realise that we look like hypocrites because we're taking these people back. The only thing is that in the UK, they sent them off to America, the really bad ones. They've gone to trial in America, and they will be sent to Guantanamo Bay if they, a trial. That is the outcome of their thing. But Listhaug, FRP, left the government. It's no longer got representation because the government wanted to receive so-called ISIS mother with a sick child from Syria. So this is really like a tenuous situation that I feel uncomfortable about. And I personally feel as if you're gonna help people, then you need to persecute those who need to be persecuted and get it done, and help the people that need help and get it done fast.
Yeah.
I feel that as though the whole process has been so emotional.
Yes, exactly. And it's like we see a fire in front of us and we rush to, pour water on it, but we forget to check whether it's oil or wood burning.
I agree with you there. And I sort of like read other different points of views and the situation and how bad it's got, and these women are pregnant, okay, and they've got their children. So I'm thinking, well, in a situation like that, it's you find yourself pregnant and you're in a crisis. That's bad.
Yeah. My grandma carried my mother all the way, during the forced relocation under German occupation, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad, really. It's just to be carried around. When you're a pregnant woman, you got all this risk. It's not that bad, obviously. No, my biggest fear is, right, we've got all these women in a vulnerable situation, but that's not what I've seen. I've seen boats with blokes on them going to UK.
Of course, combat age men.
Did they leave all these women and children in Lesbos? Because that's what it is.
Yeah, that could be. That could be.
Because I'm kind of skeptical. I'm thinking, well, if that be the case...
I mean, there is no clear evidence for that. I mean, maybe we could track something down, but I really doubt, because the issue is that we don't actually know where those people in Lesbos are from, and we don't also know where the people coming through the channel are from.
So this is a vetting process that we need to do from the get-go.
Yep. Correct.
So if we enable a vetting process, it will be a lot better and a better system for all. Because I think the images that we are seeing of the Mediterranean are not of these 4,000 children, many sick and vulnerable and pregnant women. And we're looking at them and we're thinking 200 pregnant women, but we let in about 13.
5,000 men in productive age, not willing to work. If you're a man in productive age not willing to work, it means you're willing to fight. That's about it.
I mean, it freaks me out, because it looks like they're willing to fight, but also it's an encroachment on our rights as well, because our rights invaded as well. Because
I do believe every culture has the right to exist and survive, and that's why we should stop mass immigration into our countries.
But then we also need to think about the women and children, because if we don't, then we look like cunts.
I mean, their men are busy invading Europe, so I don't really see how much responsibility over them we have right now.
I don't either, and I feel as though 50 is enough. I feel sorry for the rest.
Yeah.
And I am sorry.
I mean, look. We spent the past 2,000 years without medicine, and we've done fine. I think, field hospital for them would do.
But even then, I feel as though they are actually possibly going to be in a war zone pretty soon. And then we have to think about the people of Lesbos. What do we do about that? If they are in a war, what do we do about the people in Greece? So we would have capped our refugees thing if this does escalate. So I'm already there, thinking about the future if this does go wrong. And I think a lot of people don't think about that. They think, oh yeah, but look, the islanders of Lesbos, they've got a house and they've got this. What do you think the other people were fleeing from? I think they don't come from houses, they come from Listhaug. It's like...
Yeah, I mean, that's what they think, and ironically they think that outside Europe it's like murder or some stuff, like, or some like other negative universe or some stuff like that. It's really bizarre.
It'd be a bit funny if these people had like a secret cove with a beautiful garden and a nice pool that they fled from, because I wouldn't give them coffee, you know what I mean?
Hell, they probably had orchards with dates and oranges and mangoes in them.
Oh goodness, I wouldn't give that up for toffee. But if it got bombed, then I feel sorry for them. But that's exactly what's going to probably happen to the people in Lesbos. So that is the news, and we've covered the news, and we've covered music, and thank you very much, Steve. It's been
thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming, and we'll call it a wrap.